Oh, good morning, miss. Are you mine 10 o'clock? Oh, I am so glad. Come on in. I'm sorry, I was just running a moment behind there. Didn't realize you were going to get here this early. I see you're expecting. Congratulations. When is the. Oh, you've just now. Look at you. Hey, how did it go? Yeah? Okay, hey, that's fantastic. I'm really glad. Congratulations. And how's she doing? She's good? Oh, fantastic. Amazing, amazing. I'm really glad. That must have been quite an experience. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, obviously, it's not something that I've gone through, but considering my line of work, I just try to understand. I think it's really important that I not just be able to sympathize, but that I can get a better grasp of the changes that women go through, the experience of childbirth, and just as important, maybe even more important, at least bearing on my line of work, what happens next. Speaking of what happens next, we know how she's doing. How are you doing? Yeah? Yeah, I think that that's very normal. Yeah, I mean, your body's gone through a lot of changes in the last 9 months. And, it's going to undergo some rubber banding, as you will. Things kind of snapping back into place. Not to put too fine a point on it. Of course, it's a process, and it's different for everyone. So, the most important thing that I tell all of my patients is that you got to be patient with yourself. So, what exactly, if you don't mind the personal question, I guess now's the time, what exactly brings you in here today? What's troubling you? Okay. All right. Now, usually your hospitals or delivery specialists will have lactation experts on hand. Okay, you did work with them. You weren't able to get anything happening, huh? Okay. When did this all happen? Okay. It's not too long ago. Yeah. It's certainly something that's worth looking into, but let me just stress up front. This is wrong word. Let me just emphasize up front. This is not something to stress about. Okay? Stress makes lactation more difficult for everyone. Believe it or not, that little baby can sense when you're all wrung out and when you're exhausted, and it does make a difference. I know. Do you know what? I hear that all the time. People are scared to death that they're unfit mothers or that they're not bonding appropriately. You don't need to worry about anything like that. I understand, though. Yeah, breastfeeding is a very important part of motherhood, especially early on. But here's the good news. I can help. I think that I know exactly what to do. And so what we'll do is I'm just going to ask you a couple quick questions, and then we will try some treatment, see if we can't stimulate some flow, okay? No, it's nothing intense, it's nothing scary, nothing like that. I understand. Yeah. You're going to undergo a huge range of emotions. You're going to have lots of ups and downs and mood swings. That is very, very normal. So please don't apologize. Don't worry about that. You can just let go in here. It's not a problem at all. Yeah. Yeah, I get a lot of patients telling me that to put it mildly, that their sex lives undergo somewhat of a disruption before, after, and of course during. Obviously, that's very normal. It takes some people quite a long time to get comfortable in their bodies again. Yeah. I do think that it is very important that every woman go at her own pace. I think that it is a very dangerous thing when you have a pressuring partner who's trying to. Oh, that's not. Oh, okay. So, he's not the one pressuring. It's you who's feeling a little bit untouched. wanting, a little neglected. I'm sorry to hear that. That must be really frustrating. The good news, though, is that there may be a solution in common to both of these problems. So, let me ask you this. Have you tried any breast pumping? You do have one? Okay, which model is it? Alright. Yeah, I've used that one. It's usually pretty good, I gotta tell you. It's a little noisy. No, I've actually got one just in the other room there where I take people's vitals. Alright, I'll tell you what. Have you been leaking at all? No? Okay. I understand. Yeah, I get it. That post-pregnancy cocktail of hormones will just set people off in all sorts of different ways. I think that increased arousal, even if it's as consistent and frequent as you're saying, is totally normal. It doesn't mean that anything's gone wrong. No. Rest assured, you're in great shape. So, like I was saying, I think that there's a solution in common for these problems. What I'd like to do is I would like to ask you to just come on here into the other room and just hop up here on the table, and I'm just going to examine you a little bit. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind undressing first, I'd appreciate that. Do you know what? No, I'll gladly turn my back, of course. Unfortunately, I don't have any gowns handy. No, what happened is we had to throw them all away due to the pandemic. Yeah, we don't have any of the disposable paper ones, and doing the wash, there's a risk of contamination, so that's why I just keep it a little extra warm in this part of the office. Yeah, well, me with my long sleeves, yeah, it does get a little toasty. I don't mind, though. You don't mind if I just roll these babies up. Here we go. All right. So go ahead and just hop up onto the exam table there, and we're just going to have a little look. Okay, so you mentioned that you've been dealing with a lot of really, really strong arousal lately. All right. Do you find that there's a connection between that and increased milk production, breast tenderness, these sorts of things? There is. Okay. All right. Yeah, that kind of confirms my suspicion. Well, you know what happens is the same hormones that are responsible for arousal, they're very closely connected with the hormonal response that triggers lactation. Yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just stimulate you a little bit. Well, we'll see how much is necessary, and see if we can't coax a few drops out of you, okay? See if we can't maybe build the connection between these two things, make it a little more intuitive for you to do on your own. Yeah. All right, so no, the pump is over there. I'm not going to hook you up to it just yet. First, I want to see if we can't get that blood flowing a little bit. So I'm just going to start with one little finger. Yep. If there's anything that you want me to do specifically, anything that really, really increases arousal. Oh, you noticed that, huh? Well, you're making me blush. Yeah, I have been working out a lot lately. That's actually why it took me a couple extra seconds to roll my sleeves up. Forearms are getting out of hand. Hey, dad jokes. How appropriate. There we go. See, you're getting nice and pink and flushed. Yeah, you're definitely getting a little bit red in your neck and shoulders and your chest. That's totally normal. Well, you know what getting horny feels like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide 2 fingers in. I'm going to go nice and slow at first. Did I say that? Oh, nice and slow. See if we can't get all those juices flowing the way they're supposed to.